Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to Project Angling. As you can see, I've got my coffee in hand. I drove down to the Longjing Pier. As you can see, it's a super cold morning. So behind me is the spot that I'm going to be fishing. It's a couple of boulders that's pretty opened up when it's low tide. So the tides are spring at the moment. So I have access to these rocks for the entirety of the low tide. So I'll fish it from low just before high tide and then see what we get. Hey guys, so I'm going to run you through my tackle for today and also what you can find around this area. So let me start with the tackle first. So this morning I decided to come with a medium action pole. So I took my Daiwa Crossfire 7-foot medium action with my Daiwa XL of 4000 LT, and I spooled it up. I believe this is 25-pound braid with a 0.40 fluorocarbon leader of about 2 meters. The lure that I'm going to be starting off with is the Yozori Hardcore range. It's a lipless minnow, 12 centimeter, floating. As you know by now, gold is my color, so there's obviously a gold and silver and black lure, especially because at low tide here the water is very discolored, so you need to try to draw in as much attention as you can. The fish you can get here, it's a real mixed bag when it comes to these estuary type of ecosystems. So behind me there you have the power station, then you've got the river running into the ocean, and at spring low, these rocks that I'm actually standing on now, they get exposed and they covered in oyster shells, etc. So the species range from black bream to barramundi to crevalle jack. I personally have caught crevalle jack here before, which is a Trevally species. I've caught my personal best black bream here of 42 centimeters. Yeah, tarpon you find here, needlefish. So the list goes on. It's a very, very large ecosystem which is very rich in organisms. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be casting and going for distance cast, because at the moment ideally you would like to cast along the rocks and just fish with your lure bouncing off the rocks, but obviously plenty of anglers, so many times that's impossible to do. So I'm going to try my best to try and get cast parallel to the rock bank and see what we can get. I have caught mangrove jack here before on a couple of occasions, so I'm going to try and target them again. The two species for today, definitely fingers crossed, it's a dream of mine in Taiwan to catch a wild barramundi. I've seen them come out here before. One fella a while back, I was fishing with Max from Mefik TV, and a guy landed one close to the 7 kilogram mark, which means they are here. I've seen videos of people catching them here, and it's just one of my dreams to catch a wild barramundi in Taiwan. Now why I say it's a dream is because the fishing is relatively under high pressure here. So every guy loves to come do his hobby, which is obviously angling. They do a lot of float angling, so float fishing with shrimp and prawns, etc. So the fishing takes a bit of a toll on the populations. So if I do get one, it will really make my day and make my year. It will probably be my catch of the year. So yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, here you go. Wonderful mangrove jack caught on a little orange and gold crankbait from Banshee. Really beautiful fish. As you can see, they've got that reddish brown bronze color, massive eye, ugly set of teeth, because they hunt down in the shallows here between the rocks. So they chase down any old little mullet and minnows, etc. around here. That big paddle tail just shows you this fish is just built for power and to keep you in the snags. But like I said, this is the reason you can't go light with your leader and your main line, merely because these fish are going to run you down into the rocks. Yeah, there's a beautiful mangrove jack. So this one will be going home with me for the pan, but any others I catch I probably will end up putting back. So yeah, remember, there's nothing wrong in keeping 1 or 2 fish, but please make sure that you guys return all the ones that would be the breeding stock for the future generations. So yeah. That's just mullet on the surface, probably feeding on the ground bait that the guys are casting out for the float fishing. Let me get a little higher up here. Yeah, so finally I have a little GT here. Very beautiful kingfish. I don't know, you'll probably hear it every now and then. It makes this grunting noise. I believe the Chinese name, slang name for them, kwa kwa. So because of that noise, again, the gold lure does it again, from Banshee. I just casted a general straight cast with a fast retrieve, and this guy took it. Yeah, beautiful fish. I don't need to go into too much details because many people are very familiar with the GT Trevally species. You can see that big that tail there is the fork tail, so that's built for speed. Wonderful fish. Yeah, let's get him unhooked and get this one back. Yeah, so that little GT I caught on a start-stop retrieve, so just jerking the bait around, reel, stop, reel, stop, reel, stop. That's how he took it. That's just mullet jumping around on the surface there. So if there's, what I try to do is I try to look where the mullet are. I cast there, and even if I don't make it, it just looks like a fish darting away from the shoal. And if there's any predators hanging around, they'll probably end up hitting your lure. So again, I started off with a 12 centimeter bait, and I went all the way down to, I think this is a 4.5 centimeter, 4 centimeter little crank. You can see the lips fairly big for the bait, so it does go down quite far. I mean, the big difference here is actually having good quality trebles on your lures. It just makes the world of difference, especially when you have fish on like little GTs and mangrove jacks, all these guys that can bend out your hooks. I don't know if you can see this, but you can see all these little mouths on the surface. It's just the mullet coming in to rake in all the floating bait that the guys have been throwing in for the float fishing. It's just mullet. Every now and then you'll see them scatter. I'll see if I can cast in there, maybe it'll make them scatter a little bit. They're pretty unimpressed with that cast. Yeah, so normally what I would do is I'd fish a spot, make 10-12 casts, go to another spot, fish 10-12 casts. So down here you see there's a couple of guys fishing all the way down. So obviously I don't want to do that now because too many people fishing on top of one another. So always like be mindful of other anglers and just try to respect the distance. So I'll just keep fishing here. I mean, this little spot has produced quite a few fish now. So yeah, let's see what we can get further. Ooh, that was something. I think I just lost that fish there. Ah, it's okay. Let's just try again. Yes! Wonder what this is. Oh, 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 oh! Quack quack. Oh.
Look at an angry little thing, it's so cute.
He's still lively, so he can go straight back. There's he going. Oh. Right, so what I'm going to try and show you is my retrieve. So let's just get the bait out. Right, so as soon as the bait's out, I kind of do the twitch, 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 and I let it rest. Twitch, 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 let it rest. Twitch, 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 let it rest. Twitch, twitch, and then as soon as I see the lines close to the bank, I just raise it up and pull it in fast. I don't want it to get jammed in under the rocks. I'll show you again. Get it out. Twitch, 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 leave it. Twitch, 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 leave it. Twitch, 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 leave it. See, the line is close to the edge, bring it in faster. And that's it. Firstly, gets good action on the vibration of the bait, and secondly, you lose less lures down in the bricks. Yeah, so the tide has changed, so you can see that the waves are starting to rush over the rocks. I was standing down there earlier, so I'm just gonna try and get to a little bit of higher ground. There we go. And just fish a little further. Okay, so because I'm higher, I'm not gonna do the twitch. I'm just gonna cast it out and bring it in at a relatively even speed. Yeah, so it's gotten awfully quiet all of a sudden. Not a problem. Just put, oh my goodness, on. Yes. Might be another GT.
nice。
对，
哦，
乖乖的，
包包这个酱还算蛮大的。
对对，
嗯，这样算不错了。你钓几条了？
哦，听不懂。
你钓4条了。
哦，啊，是的，对。That's how many? Yeah. Fourth fish.
Oh. You want to take a video?
Yeah.
好了，拜拜。
拜拜，拜拜，拜拜。
Sand bit further back. I love the little grunt it makes. It's so cute.
Yeah, so there you go. Third GT for the morning. Another beautiful specimen, good juvenile. But I must say, when this one hit and I brought it into the side, there was actually 2 or 3 of them that were following it. That's very, very, very characteristic of these fish. You'll normally find them in shoals, especially if they're this young, and they're probably chasing down the bait fish close to the rocks, close to the shallows. Yeah, again, gold and orange crankbait can never go wrong. Yeah, let's get this guy back. He's still very lively, so I'm just gonna let him go. But we're gonna dart off straight away. Boom, there he goes. Yeah, so as I was saying, it got awfully quiet and then bang. That's how it goes. So yeah, 4 fish for the morning, not too bad. 1 decent sized mangrove jack and 3 young trevally. Can't complain. Just quite misty. I like it though. So yeah, this little golden orange banshee lure is starting to become one of my favorite lures to use, especially when water is pretty discolored. Know for a fact they work on tarpon, so catching some mangrove jack and little GT on it, I think it's a go-to from now on. Yes, yes. Wow, different fish. Queenfish. Eh? Yeah, queenfish. Yeah, so you have a little juvenile queenfish. Very popular fish as well, game fish in Taiwan. You can see very, very lightly, you can see the little dots on the side. And there's a lateral line, so they pick up vibration from bait fish in the water and they hunt them down. So very different. The other one was a GT. They are also called kingfish, and this is the queen fish. Normally they will be hunting together and they basically feed on the same type of fish in the shallows, bait fish, etc., little shrimp. That's them. Another juvenile, beautiful fish. I'm not going to keep it out of water too long. Let's get this one back. Here we go. Queenfish going back. Yeah, so as you know, project angling is all about sustainable fishing. And as you noticed, I kept that very first mangrove jack. Reason for that is you are allowed to keep 1 fish or 2 fish. Where the problem arises is where guys keep 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times the amount than they can keep and that they really need. I'm gonna make that into a beautiful dish. I'll add it into the highlights of the day for you to have a look. And another reason why you can keep that fish is you don't want to take fish from an environment if they are too small, and you definitely don't want to take the bigger fish. So the first thing that I look for if I want to keep a fish is it carrying eggs? And the second thing is, how under pressure is that species? So like you saw today, there were 3 or 4 guys catching the same type of mangrove jack here. So I know that the population is relatively stable if you can be catching them all in an hour's time frame. That's another thing. So always remember, whenever you keep a fish, please make sure they meet the minimum requirements in your country, in your region, in your area. And please make sure that you know which species you may and may not take. So yeah, I'm gonna have a nice snapper lunch. I'll definitely add the photo for you to see. That's it, you guys, from me down here at the Longjing Pier. I hope you enjoyed this video. But before I say my final goodbyes, I just want to actually give you a couple of tips. So like today, where the fishing has been relatively productive, and mind you, this has been my most productive day ever at this specific venue. One thing I would like you to always pay attention to when you're fishing for especially smaller game fish and it's around the bricks or structure, always check that your hooks are still sharp and straight after every catch. And the second thing is, always try to feel up and down your leader, whether it's fluoro or mono, whatever you're using. Just feel whether or not there's any scuffing or any rough areas, rough patches, because that leads to weaknesses in your line and it can part when you actually hook a decent fish. And then the third thing and last one is, whatever knot you're using, I use the FG knot. If your knot is not good enough, it's not going to be able to hold the tension of whatever fish you're catching, and normally it will start to fray closer to the end of your session. So keep an eye on your FG knot or SC knot or uni to uni, whatever knot you prefer to link your leader line to your main line. Please check it. The fish, I managed to get 3 different species today. I'm super chuffed. I'm still awaiting that wild barramundi, but that will make a beautiful video on its own. But nevertheless, beautiful fish. I got a mangrove jack, I got 3 or 4 little GT, and I got a queenfish to finish off the day, or finish off the morning. I only spent 2.5 hours here, and that's about 6 fish, 5-6 fish, and absolutely awesome. Like I said, I've never caught that many fish here before. I kind of figured out the tidal and climatic conditions, which is definitely a plus wherever you're fishing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please remember to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Please find all my social links in the description below, and yeah, have a good one. On to the next one.